time traps aren't always like a bad thing.
So I think it's more just about like
Limiting.
setting limits for yourself. So, we talked about social media being a time trap. There's also TV can be a time trap.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not saying these things are all bad. Guys, balance.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spend 24 hours a day working.
24 days working.
You definitely can't spend 24 days. You can't spend, 24 hours sleeping either. It's all about the balance. So, social media, it can be a tool, if you use it for business, if you just use it to, look up influencers and see, pictures of people traveling, or if you use it to just talk to your friends. But setting those limits for yourself. If you spend, 4 hours a day on social media, that's probably too much.
Mm-hmm.
So just, being intentional with your time when it comes to those things as well. And then also being intentional with the time you invest in yourself. So, that sounds like it sounds more than it needs to be. Like when I say investing, it can be, putting, money into yourself, education, but it could be even simpler than that. First thing when you wake up in the morning, you could decide, hey, I'm going to spend 20 minutes writing in a journal, or I'm going to go for a walk because I really think that helps me clear my head.
Oh, I do that. I need that.
Yeah. And, being intentional with that and that me time makes all the difference. For me as a mom, like I've been really bad with this lately, but, before Corona, I used to wake up at like 5:30, sometimes earlier than that. And I'd go to the gym and I'd go to classes.
I'd still be sleeping.
Yeah, he'd be sleeping. Kason would be sleeping. And it was, I didn't imagine how beautiful it was. It was just so amazing to be able to, I just woke up and I didn't have to, feed my son. I didn't have to, maybe get Pekin's lunch for work or something. I just got to get up and go exercise, clear my head, and take some time for myself.
Sounds beautiful.
It was. And you know what? I do miss it. I think, Corona made it so that our days really have no structure, but it doesn't have to be like that if we're intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've been trying my hardest to wake up early and still do that. But it really goes down to being intentional. What's going to help you, make sure you have that me time. And if you can't do it first thing in the morning, which I do recommend first thing in the morning, because that's when you're freshest and you're dedicating those first moments, to yourself and your mental real estate to help you, be a better, spouse or parent or, friend or, just a better self. But you can also use that time, that me time, anytime throughout the day that would most benefit you. So if you are, a spouse and a parent, sometimes that's, you have to do it, at night when everybody's sleeping, but just making sure that you give yourself some time, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think the skill of time management is such an underrated skill, because we were talking about earlier that, if you know how to spend your time wisely, you can end up becoming rich, or whatever you want to. You can end up accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you know how to tame this beast of a thing that time is, then you can really do anything. That's like a superpower.
You call it taming time, but time stops for no one.
Yes, but like, you can't control it, but you can control what you do within it.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, when I'm commuting to work, or when I used to, before Corona,
When you get out of bed
back in
and
the
you go
old
over to your
days,
laptop.
the pre-Corona
Oh,
days,
you mean when you drove to work?
when I drove to work, my commute now is 2 minutes, and
It's not even that. It's 30 seconds. You stand
no
up.
time to decompress. Actually compress.
Oh, stop it.
Commute.
He's so dramatic.
Anyway, but when I'm driving, I'm in a forced environment because I have to be there. So if I'm going to be there anyway, might as well put something on that I think will be beneficial to me. Where I'm investing in myself. So what I would do is, I would listen to things on like YouTube or Spotify,
Like
and
podcasts,
yeah, like podcasts,
something like this.
something like this. I don't know. Am I gonna listen to our own podcast?
I mean, we've got some good gems on here. Some money.
Well, I'll listen to it when we're editing. um, but yeah, no, yeah. If the thing is, when we're talking right now, I feel like we're teaching ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I might watch this.
Yeah.
I might watch this. Maybe we'll teach ourselves something. But anyway, I would learn so much stuff just sitting in my car, watching or listening to something. I'm not watching. Right?
Look, he's telling on himself, guys.
I am a little bit. I mean, I might glance a little bit and then I'll go right back to the to the road. But it's just because YouTube has everything. You know what I mean? YouTube has everything in bite-sized as well as non-bite-sized. So yeah, and I would learn so much. I want to learn a new skill. Pull up a video and listen to it. And that time was so valuable. Like I think if you could find something where you're in a forced environment, you have to be there anyway. Try to figure out something that you can do that will, I guess, make it even more worth it than it already is.
See, so like what you just described, that is just one of the examples of, how you can do that, specifically with like podcasts or like just different things that you can learn and listen to. And I feel like that's a big reason why podcasts have really taken off, because you can listen to them. Yeah, you can listen to them really as you're doing anything. If you're doing chores, if you're like if you work in a warehouse or a job where you don't necessarily need to like be on the phone and you can just listen as you work, listening to podcasts is super helpful.
Yeah.
And personally I do like to listen to podcasts in the shower too.
Yeah. When you're in the shower going for a run.
My showers are long.
Yeah. Especially when she got to do her hair.
I don't listen to the whole podcast, just maybe like 20 minutes.
But yeah, don't like you don't have to avoid the time traps, but you got to master the time traps. Like use the time traps in a way where if you wanted to watch TV, that's fine. Watch TV, but know that if you don't stop yourself, you might end up binging for the whole day. If there are enough episodes for the whole day, you might end up watching it for the entire day. But if you tell yourself, I gotta stop at 2 p.m. because I need to focus on this and that as well, because you're allocating or budgeting. So look at time management as if it's money management. With money management, you have bookkeeping software and you have professionals to help you manage it so that you don't mismanage it and waste it and do something that you'll regret later. You can do the same thing, and you should do the same thing with time. You use time management software, to-do lists and all of that to help manage it so that you don't mismanage it, so that you don't regret what you did end up doing with it later on.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. To-do lists and scheduling things, because
use the tools.
If you only have so many hours in a day or so many hours in a day that you can dedicate towards something, you want to know what you're doing with your time, and you want to know how far how far you've gotten towards your goals that you've set for yourself. And, even further, scheduling things out. If you have the ability to, schedule and say from this time to this time, I'm going to do, X, that can help you kind of stay on track, because you'll know, okay, so now let's say it was from 12 to 1, it's almost 1 and I still haven't finished this. So, but that's okay. That happens, but you already know I've dedicated an hour to this and I should have gotten it done within an hour. So I need to get it done within the next 30 minutes and move on to the next task if I want to stay on track.
Yeah. At like, you know what I just thought about? Um, you know how like when you have like a budget meeting or something, or you're just thinking to yourself, I need to budget my life, but budget my money.
Says no one ever. Budget my life.
No, no, no. Okay. What I mean is, like, you may say to yourself, I have a goal. I want to buy a car. So, in order for me to achieve that goal, I need to budget better because I'm not going to make any more money. My income is fixed. So, I need to budget better so that I
I
can
need
end
to
up saving.
spend less, save more.
Yeah. So, what you'll do in this budget meeting is you'll start tracking your spending and see, where did I spend my money this last month, right? And you'll see, okay, I wasted it here. I used a little bit more than I should have for this. I should actually put more money into that because it could probably make me more money later on if it's something like learning a new skill or whatever it may be. So anyway, you look at all the things that you currently spend your money on and what you don't spend enough money on, and you try to budget accordingly. I think we should also do that with our time because we've established earlier that time can actually be more valuable than money.
No, I think you could argue that time definitely is more valuable than money.
Yeah. Do you want to talk on that?
Yeah. So so in my opinion, like, so we've all worked at minimum wage jobs, and you literally, let's say you worked a 40-hour work week and you get that paycheck and you're like, oh wow, like this is it. I spent this many hours and this is all that I've gotten to show for it. And you're thinking about all the different things that you can do. Maybe some of you guys are entrepreneurs and you're like, I literally could be spending this time building a business, building an empire. And you can do that. And just imagine the difference, from working, whatever job. And you think about it this way. So your job decides what your time is worth. And we all know that, our time is worth more than that. We'd like to be, paid accordingly for, and that could be, I'd like to be paid millions of dollars for my time, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen. But, our time is so valuable, and money is just a way for us to really just pay our bills.
Yep. So I'm thinking about it in a I guess similar but different way. So man, I lost the train of thought. It was so good too.
We can come back to it. I have a little bit more to say about that because, when you,
I got it.
okay, go ahead.
So with time, you can decide whatever it's worth. You can be completely poor, but then someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I would love it if you can come over and I don't know, mow my lawn for me," and then you can decide,
to a limit.
yeah, well, you can decide, okay, this is worth uh, a $100,000 for me, for me to spend five hours or however long. Let's say it's an hour for me to spend an hour to cut your grass. I think it's worth what did I say? That's probably ridiculous.
$100,000.
That may be a little
That's
ridiculous.
what I'm saying.
But let me say 1,000. But we can't judge with this guy.
That's still ridiculous.
But that's his time.
That guy's gonna mow the lawn himself.
That's his time. See, when it comes to
But
money,
we gotta pay bills.
sure. But when it comes to money, it's fixed. You can't change how much value a $100 bill is. You can't change how much a $5 bill is. It's already there. You can't change it.
Or you mean like what it can buy, what it does for you?
Yes, the value of it. You can't change it. That's what it is. Like if we look at the same dollar, the same $100 bill, it can't have more value to me than it has to you. It has the same exact value. But when it comes to time, it doesn't matter who you are. You can decide what it's worth. And then you can make the decision to say, I'm going to charge this amount for me to invest my time. And I think we all need to like really think about how much power we really do have. If you are at a job that you absolutely hate, but it is helping you grow, maybe continue investing in growing from it so that you can end up applying that information towards something that can help you um, have more value. But if you're at a job where you hate and you're also not growing, maybe it's not worth your time for you to still be over there. And it's up to you to decide how much that's worth to you. Is it worth it for you to get paid $100 for those hours? That might be enough. That might be what you've decided, but you have to decide. Don't let someone else decide. Like there was a time when I was struggling as an entrepreneur, and I thought to myself, maybe I should get like a part-time job. And I didn't look at it like, oh man, I'm gonna get paid so little. I looked at it like, no, I'm going to get this job and have a little bit of stability so that I can then use that to buy some time for my business. Because that's what's really valuable to me.
It was a means to an end.
It was a means to an end. And I can decide, okay, once I've invested in this thing that I'm building, I can say it's worth this amount for me to consult with you or for me to do this kind of service or whatever.
So it gave you the flexibility to say no. To say no and be selective with your time.
Yeah, I had to identify, I had to really own up to my, the power that I have to decide how much my time is worth. Yeah. And like, I think we forget that sometimes because it's so easy for someone to tell you, this is how much your time is worth. You go to an interview and you're not telling them right off the bat, okay, I'm not going to work here if you're not paying me,
Some people do.
Yeah, but you do that afterwards during negotiation or whatnot, right? Okay, maybe
some people.
I don't know, but from what I know,
I'm not saying they should, but they do. They do.
from what I understand, when you go to an interview, the company has already looked at their business and their finances, and they've said this is what we can afford, and we're not going, and it won't make much business sense for us to go over what we can afford. So we have this budget. We'll bring people in. We'll talk to them, and we're going to put a value on the time that they invest in our organization and our mission, and that's completely fair. Because when you start your business, that's how you're going to have to look at it. It's completely fair. You can't hate the game because you want to be good at the game because the game can help you. But no matter what value someone puts on your time, it's up to you to decide, okay, I am okay with this, but at some point I'm going to be at a different place so that I can get much more value for the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. If you just take it and you just say, this is it, for the rest of your life, you're just allowing other people to decide how much you're worth.
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference just understanding or taking a stand for yourself. I'm going to do this hourly wage. I'm going to get this hourly wage, but I'm also going to invest the other time that I have to myself in something else.
Yeah. And it's really just the concept that, they're giving you money for the time you invest in their company. So, which is fine. Like if you, want to work for a company or if you want to be an entrepreneur, either way, but just realizing that time is the investment. That's the value there,
Yeah. Everyone's looking for your time, and it's up to you to decide how much of it do you want to give and how much are you going to get back for the amount of time that you've given? And once you've done that like opportunity cost, and you've done the planning, because it's like you're a financial planner, but for time. You're a time planner. You always have to plan your time, or else someone's going to plan it for you, because everyone's always looking for someone's time. Whether it's like you want to learn something from somebody, so you want a guru's time. You want someone to teach you, you know?
You want that expert.
Yeah, you want an expert. Everyone's looking for your time, and it's up to you to decide how you want to balance it, how you want to budget it.